Don't you think we're on the verge of a tremendous discovery on the scale of the solar system? Don't you feel we've not been alone in the dark, harsh cosmos for a while? So where is the search for life headed this time? At the moment, the scientific community's attention's focused on Mars, specifically on the Jezero crater, where the Perseverance rover has been working for 4 years, persistently and tirelessly living up to its name. The rover's latest discoveries make us wonder if we are alone, and also in the idea that oceans of liquid water beneath the crust of a celestial body exist only on distant moons and planets. Perhaps these mysterious bodies of water are much closer than we think. Subscribe. Why was the impact crater on the border of Cetus Planitia and Syrtis Major chosen for research? According to estimates by geologists and astrobiologists, there used to be a lake in this crater with a drainage basin of about 17,000 square kilometers. The crater is roughly 2,700 meters deep at the center, with a diameter of about 49 kilometers. Therefore, in order to imagine what this incredible body of water looked like, you shouldn't let your imagination run wild, but rather restrain it a bit. One thing is clear. The scientists chose the right location, and Perseverance keeps proving it. The rover is equipped with numerous instruments that allow for thorough examination of the soil, as well as finding and selecting the necessary samples. The probe is equipped with spectrometers, a ground-penetrating radar, environmental dynamics analyzers, a camera with excellent image quality, and a high-tech scanner. What tasks have been assigned to the probe and its companion, the tiny helicopter Ingenuity? The main mission is to assess the habitability of Mars and search for biosignatures, as well as to conduct tests in preparation for a human landing on the red planet. And what did Perseverance eventually discover? First of all, it confirmed the assumption that Jezero crater is not just a deep impact pit, but a basin that truly is a lake bed. This is indicated by traces of channels through which water once flowed, as well as remnants of sedimentary rocks found by the probe at this location. Most likely a giant lake splashed here about 3.5 billion years ago at the dawn of the celestial body's formation. Who wants to argue with the statement that Mars is a planet of past life? In 2021, Perseverance stunned astronomers with a new discovery. It found organic molecules at the bottom of the crater where it is located. Of course, carbon-containing substances can also appear through non-biological means, so such a discovery is not direct evidence of past life, but it does give us something to think about. Do you know what the Mars rover has been most successful at? Collecting geological samples that densely cover the surface of the red planet. This is a real extraterrestrial museum exhibit that is of great interest to scientists. Which samples of the Martian lithosphere deserve more detailed attention? First of all, there's a rock called Jezero. The rover discovered it in the spring of 2021. Even in the photograph, it's noticeable how strange this boulder looks. The structure of the find clearly shows that erosion has affected the rock's surface for a long time. The specimen is small, around 20 centimeters. No other stones like it have been found in the crater, at least not where the Mars rover has explored. The surrounding rocks are smoother and more uniform, while Jezero has clearly been subjected to active and prolonged exposure to either wind or water. There are suggestions that it belongs to sedimentary lake rocks left over from the time when there was a huge body of water. The rover continues to study the structure and chemical composition of the rock using its standard instruments to determine whether there are any traces of biosignatures in it. At the moment, Mars is a cold and dry, inhospitable desert. Could there really have ever been life on it? However, astrobiologists keep repeating that, by analogy with periods of climate change on Earth, such periods could also have occurred on Mars, and they could have lasted a very long time. So think about it. If a warm Martian period lasted at least 100,000 years, then why shouldn't such an assumption have the right to exist? A thorough analysis of the soil and rocks will help to sort out this issue. What rocks on Mars besides Yogic have amazed scientists? These are basaltic rocks that were named Mas, which means Mars in the Navajo language. Astronomers are unsure what this is. Is it volcanic activity evidence or basalts washed into a lake and left for billions of years? The rock sample was examined in detail thanks to a special instrument built into the rover's camera. During the analysis, clay inclusions were discovered, which indicates direct contact of the rock with water and serves as further evidence that Perseverance is currently moving along the bottom of an ancient lake. Guess how far from the rover the robotic arm collected a sample right after landing on the red planet? It was only 3 meters away, and these were rocks named Prilezhny or Iga. Once again, the Navajo language was used. The study of the material raised the same question for scientists. What is the nature of this rock, volcanic or sedimentary? The appearance of the rocks is rather unremarkable, but there are small white inclusions visible on them, which makes the sample visually memorable. How well do you know geography? Where is the Gulf of St. Paul located? We'll give you a hint. It's a paradise spot on the island of Malta, where, according to legend, the Apostle Paul was shipwrecked. Why did we remember this location? The thing is, Perseverance discovered a unique rock on Mars, which was later named after this bay. A rock with such a structure is unlikely to be found anywhere on Mars, let alone in the Jezero crater. This is what the artifact looks like. Doesn't it remind you of frog eggs, compressed by some unknown external forces? Small spheres, combined into a single structure, were clearly brought here from another Martian location. Perhaps the movement was facilitated by water flows, which is why the sample was named that way, because St. Paul's Bay is associated with buoyancy. This is a recent discovery, as the rock was found in March 2025. The formation was found near a hill with the intriguing name Witch's Hazel. One theory is that the rock rolled from the top of this elevation to the crater's bottom. The hypothesis is also supported by orbital observations, which found a dark rock on the crest of the hill that resembles the one discovered. What else does this rock look like besides fish eggs? Astronomers immediately drew an analogy with the stone blueberries found by Opportunity. The spherical shape, resembling small berries or popcorn kernels, may well indicate that the cobble was formed in a watery environment. Overall, Witch Hazel Hill consists of many layers, showcasing different geological periods of Mars. A large amount of rock was ejected to the surface at this location, possibly as a result of meteorite impacts. That's why the 135-meter hill is an excellent site for scientific research and a prime location for studying the lithospheric history of the planet. The sample called St. Paul Bay is being closely studied by the rover, although the lack of context complicates the process. Are there similar rocks on Earth? Yes, and it's a specific type of hematite. Botryoidal hematite forms on our planet under one essential condition: the interaction of groundwater with minerals. In particular, such spherules have been found in certain regions of Australia, specifically in sedimentary basins. This type of hematite is also abundantly present in Jurassic sandstones located in the state of Utah, United States of Americas. However, let's get back to Martian realities. If the bubbly stone was formed in water, then it's quite possible that traces of biosignatures will eventually be found on it. In July 2024, a stone with leopard spots was found in the bed of an ancient river located within the Jezero crater. National Aeronautics and Space Administration scientists called it that. What else is unusual about it besides the color? As it turned out later, it has a unique geological structure that may indicate the presence of microbial life. The dark rings on the surface of the stone contain iron and phosphates, while the light spots are made up of sulfur. Why do astrogeologists consider them evidence of ancient Martian microbes? On Earth, Similar structures are always linked to microbial activity. There is also calcium sulfate present in the texture of the rock. This indicates that water once actively flowed over the boulder. Among other things, the artifact prepared a surprise for geologists. So-called building blocks of life, carbon-containing organic molecules, were discovered in it. However, the presence of drops of olivine, a rock directly associated with high-temperature volcanic processes, somewhat tempers the enthusiasm of scientists. After all, in that case, the biological origin of the leopard spots is ruled out. In general, there's plenty of work to be done in this area, but National Aeronautics and Space Administration specialists, based on 2 independent studies, have already rushed to declare that the stone with leopard spots is direct evidence of ancient life on Mars. What conclusions can be drawn based on the samples found? The red planet has a highly complex geology and a rich history, with countless mysteries that astronomers have yet to unravel. The Jezero crater could become the site where evidence of Mars's past habitability is discovered for the first time. That's true at least because the crater seems to have intentionally gathered a variety of rocks, whose origins are explained by completely opposite theories. Of course, if you add the presence of microbes to this equation, then the puzzle fits together perfectly. Have you ever heard of an ocean beneath the Martian crust? No one had heard of it before either. But thanks to the INSIDE module, this information has recently come to light. This lander operated on the Martian surface from 2018 to 2022, but it failed during one of the Martian dust storms. Still, it sent valuable information. By studying Marsquakes using wave methods, the probe also discovered that beneath the surface of the red planet, there is a region through which waves pass with characteristics similar to those shown by Earth's oceans. This layer is concentrated at a depth of 10 to 20 kilometers. What does this discovery indicate? It suggests that Mars is likely hiding giant reserves of water. This is a huge potential for further study of the geology of our closest neighbor. News like this makes you think. Even in the Mariana Trench at a depth of almost 11 kilometers, there is life, and it is represented in abundance. You can ask about its existence at least from James Cameron, since he spent more than 3 hours at the bottom of the trench actively photographing its inhabitants. So, if the Martian ocean beneath the crust of the red planet were real, could life have also originated there? Let's leave this question as rhetorical for now. If you have a different opinion, be sure to share it. We're interested. Well, Earthlings, this isn't the end of the video. Ahead of us are still some very interesting and simply spectacular episodes. But for me to keep delighting you with all the characters of the cosmic expanses, I need your feedback. You can put it simply, just give an electronic like under this video. After all, we don't have any other types of likes. And continue the phrase I know. This way, you'll let us know that we're moving in the right direction. Don't switch channels.